Solar panels versus batteries versus both. What should you do first? Let me start with this. If you're thinking about going solar in 2026, the real question is no longer, should I get solar panels? The real question is, do I need to install solar panel first? Do I need to install battery first? Or do I just rip the band-aid off and do both? Because here's the truth. The dream of going solar has evolved. A few years ago, it was all about the blue panels on the roof, lowering your energy bill, saving some money. That's it. Now today, especially here in Texas, people are not just thinking about panels anymore. They are thinking about energy independence, and I really love that shift. But here is the catch. Your budget might not be ready for a full solar plus whole home battery system right out of the gate. So what do you do first? In this video, I'm going to break down the mechanics, the cost, so you can decide what actually makes sense for your home and for your wallet. Oh, and before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you are in DFW area and you want to break down for your own house, you can absolutely book a consultation with my company. We do this every single day. Info is going to be in the description below. Now, without further ado, let's get right to the video. So do I need batteries for solar to work? This is the most common question I get in sales meetings. Will my panels work in a blackout? And the short answer is no. Most solar systems are what's called grid tied. That means that your house is still physically connected to the utility company. And for safety reasons, if the grid goes down, your solar inverter automatically shuts off. It has to. Otherwise, your panels would keep sending electricity back to the utility lines where workers are trying to fix transformers, etc. And that is very dangerous. So if you want power during an outage, you need either a battery system or like a specialized hybrid inverter that can then island your home from the grid. Now let's simplify this. If you install solar only, your primary goal is lowering your monthly bill. If you install solar plus battery, your goal shifts now to reliability, independence on top of saving on electricity bills. Now with solar only, if the grid goes down, your power goes out as well. With solar plus battery, if the grid goes down, your power stays on. Now with solar only, extra energy goes back to the grid and you get paid for that via credit. With solar plus battery, the extra energy goes straight to the battery and then you use it at night. Now what's the trade-off? Solar only usually costs somewhere in the range of $15,000 all the way to $35,000. Now, obviously, there's bigger systems as well. Just depends on the size you need. Solar plus battery pushes that closer to like $25,000 all the way to $50,000 and more. Now, let's talk a little bit about Texas. Now, if you live in Texas, you know our grid has a personality. Between the brutal July heat and summer heat and the 2021 freeze, aircut is basically a dinner table topic at this point. So the freeze changed everything. Over 4.5 million Texans lost their power, and for many families, that was not just an inconvenience. That was actually very scary. After that event, people stopped asking me about return on investment. They started asking about survival. Now, I know it may sound dramatic, but it really is not when you have multiple days of temperature below freezing and your home pipes are bursting, your family is cold, and you can't feed your family. It really is scary. And then there's also price instability. Texas has deregulated markets. So during peak summer hours, wholesale electricity prices can spike from 5 cents per kilowatt hour to $5 per kilowatt hour. A battery now lets you arbitrage that. So store cheap energy, use it when rates are high. And that is now becoming a real strategy. So let's break down the 3 options that you have. Option A, installing solar panel first. Now for about 75% of homeowners, panels come first. Why? Because solar panels are the engine. My dad would always say it's like a money printing machine. They generate the value. They offset your monthly bill. And in 2026, average payback is roughly 5 to 8 years, depending on the system size and the usage. Installing panels first creates a new stream of savings, and those savings can eventually help fund a battery 2-3 years from now. Now, here's the important part. If you think that you might want a battery later, tell your installer. please. The storage-ready system means installing a hybrid inverter now, or even an easy AC-coupled inverter that will then pair nicely with any AC-coupled battery system. Now, it's also very important for spacing purposes. Your installer will plan properly future battery add-on, also needed space on the wall, etc. Otherwise, you might end up ripping out the equipment later and spending extra $2,000 or $3,000 just rearranging things on the wall because it was not planned ahead. Even if you already have a system, like a solar system, modern batteries like Tesla Powerwall 3 or Franklin WH can be AC coupled and added later on with no problems. So yes, you can start with panels and add storage later, just do it intelligently. Now let's talk about option B. What if you start with installing battery alone first? Now this sounds a little bit backwards, a battery without solar, but it's actually becoming more and more common. So you can install a battery and then charge it from the grid at night when the rates are lower. Then during the storm or an outage, that battery keeps your fridge, Wi-Fi, and small appliances running. The pros are immediate protection, lower upfront cost than the full solar system plus battery. But the cons are you're not generating any power, and once that battery is empty during a long outage, it basically stays empty until the grid comes back. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, that is battery versus the generator, just briefly. So in Texas, standby generators like Generac generator have been the gold standard for backup, but the math is actually not mathing anymore. So generators cost anywhere from like $10,000 to $18,000 installed. Battery-only systems run anywhere from $12,000 to $20,000. Generator requires fuel, annual maintenance, oil changes, they are loud. And battery is silent, virtually no maintenance, and if paired with solar, then it recharges for free. So during a 4-day outage, you might spend $300 or more on generator fuel. Over 20 years with maintenance and fuel, generator can actually double its original price. Now, a battery paired with solar actually pays you back through bill savings. A generator never does that. And finally, option 3. So installing both at the same time. Now, this is the largest upfront investment, but often the smartest long-term move. Why? First, labor and savings. Installing solar and battery together avoids duplicate permitting, multiple truck rolls, and extra electrician labor. So you can easily save over $3,000 compared to retrofitting that later. Second, hardware synergy. An all-in-one hybrid inverter can manage both panels and the battery in one system. So like Franklin A-Power S or the Powerwall 3. If you install panels now and add battery later, you may need a second inverter or replace the existing one, and that can become a little bit expensive. Third, instant energy independence. So from the moment that your system is turned on, you are not a consumer anymore. You are now generating your own fuel, you're storing it, and you're using it. That shield against rising electricity costs and grid instability is immediate. All right, so what is the best option? And like you probably expected, there's no one-fits-all situation here. There's just a good option for you in particular. Install solar panel first if your main goal is lowering your monthly bill, you have a budget around $25,000 or less, and you rarely experience power outages. If you want your fastest return on investment, do that. Now install a battery with or after solar if you work from home, you have medical equipment that needs backup, you live in an area with a lot of power outages, and you want maximum self-consumption and that peace of mind. Final verdict. At Solar Town, we focus on what I call the financial pivot point, the moment where your monthly savings turn into long-term energy independence. Something is always better than nothing. Whether you want fast ROI or a full grid independence, the key is to start, to take that first step. If we compare the 3 setups side by side, solar only focuses on lowering bills, battery only focuses on emergency backup, solar plus battery gives you both savings and independence. Solar only typically pays back in 5 to 8 years, battery only 10 to 12, solar plus battery around 7 to 10, depending on how you use it. The ultimate solution is usually both. But not everyone needs to start there. So the real question is, what is your next move? Again, if you're in DFW area, make sure to reach out. My information is down below, and we can get you a custom quote for a house in Texas. No cookie cutter designs. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I really like to break down the real solar decisions without the fluff. Let me know down in the comments, if you had to choose today, would you do panel first, battery first, or both? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.